What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So we blew out a steer axle airbag. I commented on one of the last videos whenever I did the shocks. Somebody asked me about how I lock the air ride front axle on these trucks, and that's my experience with my last truck as well. Is those airbags blow out frequently, and I say frequently, probably every 3 years you got to replace them. They don't last nowhere near like the back bags do. And I think maybe on the newer trucks that they replaced it with a bigger bag or something a little different, because these bags are small and they run at a really high PSI, about 90, somewhere in there, 90 to 100, depending on the loading and the roads and whatnot. And whenever you hit a bump, they spike higher than that. And so I was only about 4 miles from my house whenever this blew out. It was a Friday. It's a Friday afternoon right now. I don't know what day it'll be when you see this video, but it was a Friday afternoon, and I picked up a load carry next week. Everybody's closed today, or well, the time I get there they would be. As you see, it's in the afternoon. Anyway, so it's coming back home, and about 4 miles from the house, passenger side airbag blew, which is better than what happened when I was in my old truck, because I changed those airbags. I changed one of them in the Volvo dealer parking lot in oh crap, name of that place down there, Buda, Volvo place in Buda, Texas. I changed the airbag in their parking lot, and then I changed the other one in the truck stop parking lot about 2 months later. But anyway, so this one blew out almost at the house. Luckily I have two in stock because it's Friday night and everybody's closed. But since I've replaced these and I have this other truck sitting here that I hadn't did anything with yet, I'm going to pull these here off. I'm going to probably go ahead and pull both of them off. I think they're exact same bag. The only difference I see is for some reason this truck only has one leveling valve. This truck has two leveling valves. It has one on each side, and I'm suppose that keeps it, you know, more level, keep the air from transferring one side to the other. Anyway, that doesn't matter for the purpose of the bag. These are not too hard to change. They just kind of snap in place. The biggest issue is getting the airline to come unplugged there. It's one of those quick connect fittings, but sometimes you have trouble when you have to get dirt in them. The next thing is you got to get it jacked up somehow. What I did when I changed those in the parking lot is I put a jack. I had a shorty bottle jack that I put on top of the spring, between the spring and the frame right there, and jacked it up enough that I could get the bag out from under there. So it shouldn't be too big of a deal. But the last one on my other truck, what happened was I blew out that one, and I was close to that Volvo dealer, and I got one from there, and I actually only bought one, and I went back out and got in the truck. I thought about it. I said, I'm gonna go back in there and get another one, and I think it cost me about $400 for the two of them. But it wasn't like 2 months later that the other one blew out, and so I had one with me in the truck, and I was able to change it in the truck stop parking lot. It wasn't a big deal. Glad I went ahead and made that decision to go ahead and buy another one. So I'm gonna go ahead and take both the ones off this truck here, probably, since I got it, and I'll stick one of them on this truck and one of them in the truck, so when the other one blows out, I'll put that one on there or whatever, because these are not very old here. But anyway, so I'm gonna see if I can grab a jack over here, and we'll see what we got to do to get this done. So this is a 20-ton big red shorty bottle jack. I got it at Tractor Supply several years ago. Anyway, some of Tractor Supply's jack's not the best in the world, but this shorty jack right here works good for this. In certain applications, a tall jack would fit. In certain situations, if you have a blowout on the side of the road and you want to jack the truck up, sometimes you need two bottle jacks, a shorty jack to get it lifted up to start with, to get the other jack up under it. And so that's why I usually keep two of these with me, one shorty and one tall. Alright, once you get it jacked up there about 2 inches, you can see roughly where that shock was riding at, about 2 inches there. and undo the airline. And it's just got little clips that hold the top of it in right there. I took a pry bar and jabbed on it and knocked it down. And then the bottom of it just sits on there. Well, it broke the bottom of the bag out, so what happened? Have to pry that up out of there as well. A pry bar. One on the other truck just exploded. This one seems to broke the plastic out at the bottom of the bag, but it just sets down in that hole like that. So it is removed there. Alright guys, so I was going to take this jack here out and put it on the other truck, and I set these blocks of wood here so that I wouldn't have to jack it back up. But I decided that was going to be too much trouble, so I just went ahead and got the air jack out and set it on the ground here, and I'm going to jack this one up this way and probably that other one back up this way. I'm a little bit allergic to that shorty jack there, the little manual jack, but it does work because I've used it before in the parking lot. Since I need to take off both of these and install one, that's 3 of them, I'm going to go ahead and do it this way here. It's a lot faster. That should be sufficient. You don't have to jack it up all the way off the ground or anything. You just need enough clearance that you can get in there to get the airline undone and get it knocked down. Alright guys, so here's the one I just took off of the old truck here. This airbag's about maybe a year old. It hasn't been on there long. I put both of them on there. And this is one that blew out. The bottom actually blew off of this. So it broke the bottom out. The last ones I had just exploded out the side. You can see a little bit of dry rot cracking in there. I don't know if the camera's picking it up. You can see a little bit there. I'm guessing that bag's probably 3 years old or so, just by looking at it. Don't know for sure, but yeah, it blew the bottom out, and the internal weight holding stopper and everything, it blew it all apart. It sounds like a shotgun when these things blow out and you think you blew a steer tire. I wasn't going very fast. I just made a turn. I wasn't doing 10 miles an hour when this blew out, but I did get run off the road earlier by a 18-wheeler pulling a processor, about a 12-foot wide processor on a low boy down a little 2-lane road, and he wouldn't hardly get over, and I had to run down the shoulder. There wasn't no shoulder, so that could have been part of what caused that. But that's just plastic or fiberglass or something. You can see it's not real strong, but it just snaps in there on the bottom and the top, and then your airline goes in. Nothing to it once you get it jacked up. Kind of stick it over in the hole. That sets on there. Get it turned the right direction. Goes like that right there. You got to line up that with this and ease it back down, and then stick your airline back on there. You're good to go. See if I can ease this jack back down without dropping it back down. Right there, make sure I've got it lined up here so that it'll go right down in the hole. Looks like it's lined up to me. It's all fine and dandy, except I forgot to pull my blocks out. Oh well. I'll crank the truck back up and let the airbag build up, and it'll probably pick it up enough to get them out. And then the air line just goes back down there in the quick connect. I'm gonna crank it up and let it build air back up, and check for leak, and it'll probably air up and let me get this block out from under here. Alright guys, got the new one on there, or the new old one on there, whatever the case. It's on there, doesn't leak. Look how far that frame squished down that block of wood right there. I think that thing ain't heavy. Definitely would not want to have my finger under there. I got the other one off the other truck over there as well. Keep them blocks of wood right there. They come in handy for stuff like that. This is the one I took off to the other side on the blue truck there. This one was put on, I bought them at the same time. I put one of them in service about 2 months before the other one. But yeah, it just snaps into place, plastic. Not the best idea in the world if you ask me for the front axle of a big truck, but I think they did make some changes on the newer models. But anyway, I'm gonna put that in the truck there and have with me. That was one of the things I've been gonna do, is order at least one to keep in the truck with me, so that when I did have this problem, that I would have one on me, because the thing is pretty much really hard to ride in when that happens. You would definitely not be going far. It rides, I mean, you can't hardly ride in it, I'll put it that way. And to go along with the fact that if DOT seen you doing that, I'm sure they would not be very happy. But anyway, that's where that one's going. And stick this in the truck. We got that wrapped up. That didn't take about 30-45 minutes. It wasn't too bad whatsoever. Just more aggravating than anything. So that's how you change them if you have one of these trucks. The older models like this. The blue one's 04, this is 06. Same thing. I don't know what year model they changed to the newer style. I think the newer style may have bolts in it or something with metal top and bottom. I'm not 100% sure on that, but it seemed like I seen one somewhere that was different, a little different design. Well, anyway, glad to still had old blue truck sitting there. Old blue still delivering. Old lung transplant there, I guess what you'd call that. Ain't nobody open to be getting no airbag. I don't know if there'd be anybody open. I'd have to drive probably 200 miles. Well, at least 100 miles, maybe 200 miles, depending on what Volvo dealer around may have one to even get any airbags. So glad I had those, and take them off, swap them. It's not a big deal to do that. The first one of those that blew out on the blue truck, I was actually driving when it happened. The second one that blew out, I was getting unloaded, and I was standing beside the truck, beside the trailer, unstrapping the load, and that sucker went off. And it sounded like somebody shot a 12 gauge, like, you know, within 7 or 8 foot of you. Like, scared me to death. But anyway, so I don't really like that design that well. Other than that, I mean, you just got to replace those. Probably best to do replace them every 3 years. You know, go through your maintenance log and replace them every 3 years. Be my recommendation on them. I don't know. I probably got 4 years. I would say when you get to the 4 or 5 year mark, if they make it that far, they're probably gonna blow out. And the guy, when I bought that blue truck, he told me that he had replaced them, I think, about 3 times when he had the truck. So he said he was getting about 250,000 miles. They would blow out. And so yeah, I would guesstimate somewhere in there. I don't know how long they'd been on the truck whenever I got it or whatnot. The last time he had replaced them, but. Anyway, something to think about if you're buying one of these older Volvos with air ride front axle. I don't know anything about the rest of them. The newer ones, I think they, like I say, take a different bag or whatever. And I don't know what everybody else is using. I know some of them using 2 airbags on each side. Some of the Peterbilts and stuff do on the front. I don't know what they were thinking when they come up with that. But anyway, I guess it doesn't matter. That's a wrap for now. Got everything fixed up so I can take that load next week. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video up. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys in the next video.